Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing today? What's up, M Star Media? And let's see who else. Eve. Hey, how's it going? Man, today, man, this the first person that's gonna be coming up. If it is the right person, man. I mean, I looked up the cases last night. I should put it up right now. It's gonna be a dude that shook his baby. It was like a form. I think I'm not sure if it was his baby or not, but it was he she shook yeah, damn, a 4 month old. I was I looked up the cases last night, and it kind of matches up. Hey Juliet, how's it going? But yeah, I was like, damn, that's bananas. Like why would you do that to your kid? I know kids cry and whatnot, and it could be frustrating at times, but a 4 month old, the baby's defenseless. They can't do anything. Let me pull up the thing so you guys can see it here. It should be starting up in the next minute, so I'll just read it off right now. It's a man charged by infield police with assault, risk of injury. The case involves a 4 month old, according to police. And let me get this thing up really quick here. Let me see here. All right, it's starting up now. Oh yeah, that's him. It's him. Oh yeah. See this guy here. Here we go. We got a match, right? That's him. It looks like him. The beard. It looks. The beard looks like he's definitely gone through some things. It's it's gray. So right now, wait. Let me go ahead and continue reading some of the story right here. You see, Enfield, Connecticut, a Massachusetts man was arrested Tuesdays on Tuesday on was arrested Tuesday on
Good
a one.
morning. My name is Parole Officer Dunphy, and today is Monday, January 13th, 2025, and this is a hearing of the Connecticut Board of Pardons and Paroles. The following board members are present this morning and by stating their names on the record certify they have reviewed all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information in preparation of this hearing.
Good morning, Deborah Smith Palmieri.
Good morning.
I'm Ellen Zappo Sasso.
Nancy Turner, good morning.
Good morning.
Please state your name and inmate number for the record.
Good morning. My name is William Clingensmith, 429253.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for William Clingensmith, inmate number 429253. He is serving a sentence of 7.5 years followed by he is serving a sentence of 7.5 years followed by 7.5 years special parole for assault first. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of June 6, 2025. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed and shows the offender has completed the following programs. Good intentions, bad choices on 7/24/19, voices on 6/29/2020, anger management on 12/21/20, and the Quinnipiac College program on 12/11/2024, and the Second Chance Parole program on 12/16/2024. Utilizing a statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score falls within the low range of risk for recidivism. Mr. Clingensmith, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole.
Okay. Good morning again. I would first like to thank the Board of Pardons and Paroles for giving me this opportunity for a chance at parole, as well as a second chance at starting my life again as a changed man. In regards to my case and what happened, to this day, I am so very remorseful. I have so much regret to what I did. I am also sorry for the pain and suffering that I caused to my sons, their mother, and her family, and to my family. I only wish to take it all back. And during my time in prison, I took the opportunity to work on myself spiritually, physically, and mentally. The programs such as Voices, Anger Management, Good Intentions, Bad Choices, and Effective Fatherhood have helped me to understand what victims go through and the impact from a crime caused on them have, how to manage anger in certain situations and learn relaxation techniques, how bad choices and actions have repercussions, and how to be a better parent. Ways that I stayed out of any kind of trouble in prison are by surrounding myself with positive people, helping others by lending my ear, sticking close with other Christians, and keeping to myself most of the time by doing schoolwork and reading. Post-release, I plan on being an asset to my community by being a law-abiding citizen, helping those who are in need, and to be a positive person. I plan on continuing my education to earn a degree, attending any programs that are required of me, getting a job, being a member of a church, seeking counseling, attending any meditation classes, and more importantly, abiding by the rules and regulations of my parole officer and halfway house. I feel in order to accomplish any of my plans, I will need the support from my family and friends. To do that, I'm hoping to transfer to Pennsylvania, where the majority of my family lives, and already have a place to live at my mother's house, who is my sponsor. I will also be a support for my mom, who is still grieving the loss of my father, who passed away on November 23rd of 23. My time in Connecticut will be spent trying to reunite with my children and to prove to them, regardless of the past, that I can be a good parent to them if allowed through the courts. I felt that in my heart that I was as honest as I could be when I interviewed with the Enfield police, and I want to be as truthful and honest with you. I've lied to so many people in the past, and I've learned that lying does not get anyone anywhere. After my release, I will not take any of the time I spent in prison for granted. I feel that I have grown to be a better person with everything I have experienced in prison. Once again, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Clingensmith. We appreciate you putting together your opening statement for us today. We'll be asking you some questions, and then we will give you our decision about parole. It's a very short window between your parole eligibility date and your end of sentence. And I did see a correspondence about you had given some thought to waiving today's hearing. So you've chosen to go forward?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. Thank you for that. And we will begin with questioning with my panel member, Ellen Zappos.
Morning. You answered a lot of my questions in your opening statement about where you're going from here. So I want to just ask a couple of things in reference to one of the letters that we received in terms of the support that you're receiving. And this letter specifically was from your mother. In it, she referenced that you had not usually been quick to ask for help. And I think, coming out now and rebuilding your life, as you stated, that's going to be important. So can you spend a little time talking about some of the programs that you've taken that might have put you in the direction of understanding what that support looks like and how to ask for it?
I mean, the big one for me was anger management, because I have had some anger issues in the past, and it obviously lingered over into prison. But it just showed me how to contain the anger, just to really listen before I react. So I mean that program was really needed for me, and really helped me out. For Voices, like I said in my statement, it did help me to understand more of how what victims go through with how they were affected by the crime, especially with my sons. And it's just heartbreaking. You know, I took another, which I mentioned was, effective fatherhood. You know, that taught me, you know, different ways of like parenting, and, you know, how to, you know, as what the program says, to become an effective parent. And, you know, I've learned a lot from that.
Has there been any contact via letters or anything while you've been incarcerated with your children?
Not with my children, but with their mother. And
You did
that
see the
was,
letter.
yeah, right.
So we've also received letters from friends and family stating that you are going to have community support if you're able to go to Pennsylvania. What do you envision other than helping your mother? Have you looked at certain programs there? Have you looked at education? Do you have concrete ideas about what that looks like?
Honestly, I haven't looked at what like as far as jobs and like what school I'll be able to go to. You know, I've had to, you know, work out with like transportation and whatnot, but you know, between like, you know, now and whenever I'm released, you know, I will start looking into it. But I mean, I do plan on, you know, going to school and definitely getting my job. That's my, you know, first priority. Well, you know, when I get home.
Do you still have your pharmacy technician license?
No, it was suspended.
So could you just spend a minute or so telling me what your understanding is of the special parole that you have, the 7.5 years to follow, and what that means to you?
I'm not sure if I get the question. I'm sorry.
So
Okay.
whether you're in Connecticut or in Pennsylvania, you have 7.5 years of special parole.
Right.
So what does that mean to you?
Just means, you know, I'll just have extra supervision. Like, you know, I'll just have to, you know, mind my P's and Q's and, you know, just stay out of trouble and, you know, just be on a good path, you know, while I'm under special parole.
Well, that's part of it, but the other part is that they're there to support you during your period of special parole as well, to make sure that you're successful. So in terms of my first question, being able to ask for help and understanding when you need help, they're part of your frontline defense for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I'll definitely, you know, suck in my pride and, you know, definitely ask for the help that I need. Like, you know, I definitely want to seek help, you know, seek counseling, you know, go to, like, as I said in my statement, you know, meditation, you know, things that will help me as long as, you know, as well as, you know, asking help from, you know, my friends and family for that support. Absolutely. You're welcome.
Thank you. So, Mr. Clingensmith, we've reviewed all the documents for your file, and as I review the police report, the pre-sentence investigation, a couple of things jump out at me. One is that you seem to be frustrated for a period of time, right? It seemed like there wasn't just this one particular incident. There was a couple others that you admitted to along the way to before you were actually arrested. And then you had some troubles with your daughter. Wow. So can you think about that time frame and figure out why it was so difficult for you to recognize what was happening again and not reach out for help? Because it seems to me also that there was some good support around you and the children's mother.
I regret not getting the help that I needed. I really do. And, you know, that's just one thing I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't get the support. Like, you know, I was just, maybe it was my pride, you know, or whatever, but I just wanted to, try and do it myself. Maybe, or, maybe just the stubbornness that I have, but, I mean, I can't really answer why I didn't seek the help that I needed, but, I do realize now that I should have sought out the support, and help that, I needed at that time. It's just something that I really regret not doing.
So you mentioned you've taken a lot of programs that I would say are very important, will be instrumental in your reacclimation to the community and associating in the community. So specifically with anger management, having taken it and given some thought about your lifestyle back then and how you conducted yourself, what would you say you've learned or skills that you've acquired to see when you start to have those feelings, whether they're frustration, overwhelming emotions of not being able to control your feelings, your anger, your physical outreach, your physical reactions. Thank you. What can you tell me about anger management that you hope to carry with you into the community?
I hope to, what like in certain situations that I've been through, like arguments and whatnot, I've been through, in prison, like I kind of took a step back before reacting and giving thought, and then, just really just talking it out with that person. That's one thing that I've learned from anger management is to just really relax, not just think before you speak and before you act. That's the biggest thing that I took away from anger management. And, that's one thing that I have been practicing, without me, blowing up and whatnot.
How do you practice that? Are there?
I'm sorry?
I said, how do you practice those skills? You said you practice them. Are there things that happen that you feel like you're utilizing the skills, or do you do some visualization to help you walk through the steps?
Yeah. There's steps that I take, like I said, after before I get heated up, I'll just take a moment to, relax, take some deep breaths, think about what I'm going to say, and, just try and, just kind of, I'm sorry, just talk it over with that person, in a more peaceable manner, if that makes sense.
I mean, I'm sure there's opportunities to practice the skills in the facility. I'm sure there is events that occur that you need to not respond to, not react to. But we'll see what happens when you get to the community, right? It'll be a little bit different.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. I have no further questions. Thank you. Ms. Turner?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I'll pick up on where you left off with my colleague about anger. You started by saying that it's been big for you in the past. And I'm wondering if either any of the programs have helped you tap into what's behind your anger.
Like you're saying, like how the programs have helped me with
I'm looking for any kind of insight you have into why anger has been, as you said, big for you in the past.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good question.
Because usually anger is a more comfortable feeling than whatever else is underneath it. And so people will react in anger and not deal with what the discomfort is behind the anger.
Okay. Man,
Okay, well, you know, if you don't know, you don't know, but I would encourage you. It's something you need to explore because, you know, if you unpack it, then it doesn't have the power and it doesn't come roaring back every time you start to feel anger, all the unresolved stuff, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, Mr. Clingensmith, you've done quite well during this period of incarceration. You're first, no disciplinary issues. You've done a couple of different vocational programs, as well as the programs on your OAP, and you've held a variety of jobs there in the facility. So, you know, I want to mention that because you should be recognized for the efforts, and you have no prior criminal history, though there was a similar incident, as my colleague mentioned, with your daughter. So, you know, we're looking at the letter from your ex-wife. It sounds like you were planning or already have terminated your parental rights to your sons. Is that, where do things stand with that?
No, I haven't terminated my parental rights. I mean, there were, I did go to a hearing to terminate my parental rights, but then at that hearing, I changed my mind, you know, to not go through with it.
Okay. And have your sons been adopted by your wife's new husband?
I'm not aware of her marital status, right?
Okay, because you had indicated in the interview with the parole officer that you thought your sons might have a different last name now.
Well, yeah, that was my ex-wife's parents' name. Yeah, dates. Yeah.
And is that the case?
That's the case.
Okay. How do you feel about that?
I'm sorry.
How do you feel about that?
I feel fine about it. You know, I don't have any anger. You know, yeah, I feel good about it. I'm okay with it.
I was pleased to hear you say that you would go through the courts if you want to reestablish a relationship with your sons. They live here in Connecticut?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you do not have parental rights to your daughter, correct?
Correct.
She's permanently disabled?
I believe so.
Okay. Do you have information on how your son is doing?
I don't.
So do you remember the situation in which your son was so tragically harmed?
Unfortunately.
Okay. Do you know what was going on for you at the time?
You know, at the time, like my ex-wife went to work before me, so I had that, you know, a little bit of time, which was good. You know, with me just, you know, taking care of my sons with no incidents. But then when I started going back to work, I was working part-time and full-time job, and then I was going to school for nursing. So, you know, like I just felt like overwhelmed, you know, at that time, and plus trying to, you know, be there financially, you know, and supporting my wife, you know, with taking care of my son. So, you know, I just felt that I was just like, I felt overwhelmed, you know, I felt stressed, you know, then taking and all of that.
you did take a stress management class, correct? There,
Correct.
Carl Robinson, you just finished it last month.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
So hopefully you have some more tools in your toolbox for, you know, stress is a part of being an adult. You know, we live with it, you know, and cope as best we can every day. And hopefully not with these kind of outcomes.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I want to go back to the anger management. You took that program during COVID, so you just did that through paperwork in your cell?
No, actually, I think it was before COVID.
No,
We
it's
actually.
2020, and it was in your cell.
Oh, what?
So I'm thinking
Oh,
that perhaps.
yes, I'm sorry. It was a different, okay, you're right.
Okay. Thinking perhaps, you know, that might be something, you have 7.5 years of special parole, that might be something helpful for you to do in the community. You talked about being a law-abiding citizen. You said have a job, go to church, counseling. What else does a law-abiding citizen look like to you?
Just really, you know, staying out of trouble, you know, not having any police contact. You know, and just being, you know, just a good citizen, you know, for you know, for the community.
Well, I encourage you to think more expansively about that.
Okay.
Because, you know, given the nature of your crime, it would be really positive for you to give back, find ways to volunteer, contribute your time to society. You know, being a registered voter, you know, paying your taxes.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, do you have any life goals? I know you've been studying business education.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that, you know, I can get back into taking my prereqs for nursing, you know, if I'm able to, you know, but you know, I want, yeah, definitely.
Whether your criminal history will interfere with a nursing degree?
I haven't yet. I do have some resources that I can, you know, look into to see if, you know, I'll be able to. You know, if not, you know, I would like to get back into pharmacy, definitely, you know, since I have that experience. But, you know, I do want.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Oh,
you do want one?
And you know, I definitely, you know, I want to get my associate's degree and, you know, and then continue on with there.
Do you have access to a tablet there in the facility?
Yes, we do.
Because you're not eligible for release until June. So you've got a lot of months ahead of you that you could be doing things to prepare yourself. And I would encourage you to research, you know, licensing for, you know, RN, for pharmacy technician, because there may be a need for you to have a plan B. Because this, you know, felony conviction might be a stumbling block for you in some of the pursuits that you aspire to. So you're not currently in a relationship?
I am not.
So have you given any thought to what you're going to tell your next partner about your crime?
Yeah, I have. You know, I'll just, you know, I'm just gonna be honest and forthcoming. You know, if, you know, instead of just, you know, like her bringing it up or whatever, you know, I'm just going to be forthcoming and honest, and, you know.
Did Jennifer know about your daughter?
She did.
Do you think you'll have additional children?
No.
I'm glad that you at least took the circle of security, because if you do want to be in your children's lives, you know, parenting skills, they're not innate. We have to develop them. So, all right, well, my sympathies on the death of your father while you've been incarcerated, and I wish you much success going forward. Thanks for talking with me. Thank you, Alistair.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Mr. Clingensmith, we do not have victim input this morning, so we will go right into deliberation and then we'll give you our decision late back.
Okay. All right.
That was Sassoon.
Yes, so I believe that with no prior criminal history and a low risk to recidivate, I'm looking at Mr. Clingensmith this morning as someone who has used his period of incarceration effectively. He's pursued education, vocational opportunities. He has not incurred any disciplinary reports. I believe he's taken relevant programming, including anger management, which we've talked a lot about this morning, voices, the good intentions. He's held jobs successfully. He's taken other relevant programs like the stress management and the effective fatherhood program he referenced. His request is to transfer to his mother's house in Pennsylvania. And while some of the details are still a little vague, he plans on continuing his education, obtaining a job, and he has committed to additional growth and counseling that he says he knows he needs. There does appear to be a fair share of community support and family support in Pennsylvania. And based on those factors, his low risk, I would recommend a grant today.
Thank you for that. So I agree with everything that's already been stated in terms of granting early release, and which will be followed by special parole, 7.5 years. As already stated, Mr. Clingensmith has done a number of programs which we would want him to do to address his risky needs. Does score low, has no prior criminal history, so he has no convictions, and does have quite a bit of support of the community, as evidenced by letters that have been provided, and his mother's agreement to be a sponsor, should he be allowed to relocate to Pennsylvania. So I would also be in favor of granting his parole today. Ms. Turner?
I have Mr. Clingensmith granted.
And conditions? Is that?
The only one that I have as a absolute is the interstate to Pennsylvania.
Okay. I also had Halfway House because it will take a little bit of time for them to investigate a mental health evaluation and treatment. At state plan, as you stated, Pennsylvania, and I had communities treatment for anger management. No contact with the victims in this case. GC and LC. Anything else, Ms. Turner?
And I had no contact with minors without the M's permission.
I don't think we can impose that condition. It's not really.
It's directly related.
I mean, that's a. No, I would rather leave it to the field to make a decision about whether or not they can. It's part of. It's an offense, and he's going to at some point contact. He'll approach the court about prior contact with his children. I don't know if that's a reasonable statement in terms of his. I mean, we'll give him close it, I suppose, if you think it's appropriate. Not 100% on board with it. Is that?
It's without the M's permission, so it's not an absolute.
Typically apply it to cases such as this. In the matter of
tantamount to child abuse.
I'm not disputing what the underlying factors are at all, and although there's no convictions, there is prior history. So I'm not disputing that at all. In the matter of William Clingensmith, inmate number 429, 253. This motion to grant parole on or after June 6, 2025, with the following stipulations. Halfway house placement as needed, mental health evaluation and treatment as deemed appropriate, out-of-state plan to Pennsylvania, community-based treatment for anger management, and community-based and no contact with minors without appeals permission, no contact with the victims GC and LC. Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor? Aye.
All right, Mr. Clingensmith, we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good luck.
This concludes the hearing for William Clingensmith, inmate number 429253. You're all set, sir.
All right, thank you.
Case, did you see that? Yeah, probably.
All right. So I want to go ahead and welcome everybody that's tuning in. Hopefully you guys could hear me a little bit better. So let's see. So I was asked a question: how much time has he done? So it looks like he picked up this case back in like 2018. So at this point, he would already be down. What let me see, 2 plus like about 7 years, right? 6-7 years, depending on exactly, because it says February 15, 2018. So 6 years going on to the 7th year. Let me see over here. Definitely, I was a bit shocked, when I read that, when I read that headline right there. Let me see. True Seeker. Thank you. You have a collect call from. I didn't realize he was a Springfield resident working with DCF. I'm sick to my stomach. I work alongside as well in the group homes. However, I thought he was
Good morning, my name is Parole Officer Dunkley, and today is Monday, January 13th, 2025, and this is a hearing of the Connecticut Board of Pardons and Paroles. The following board members are present this morning, and by stating their names on the record, certify they have reviewed all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information in preparation